Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Maggie and Ferocious Mondays. Today, we'll be reviewing our second segment of the 8th episode of Maggie and the Ferocious Beast, Season 1, Episode 8B, Slow Motion. In this episode, Maggie, Hamilton, and the Beast find themselves on a strange beach crowded with turtles. Tired from playing Follow the Maggie, they decide to play Follow the Turtle for a change. By moving slowly, they begin to notice all the little things on the beach they had never seen before. Now, this episode, I really, I mainly like this episode mainly for the message, I really like the message. Before I talk about it, I just want to talk about the beginning of the episode. It starts out very, very cute. Them just playing follow the leader, or in this case, follow the Maggie. They first start out pretending they're airplanes, and then they they pretend to be chickens hopping on one foot, and Beast almost crushing Hamilton. It's not funny, but it's funny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then next they and then next they they're all sticking out their tongue and closing their eyes. And then they're running really, really fast. And then Hamilton is the first one to say that I never knew playing follow the leader could be so tiring. And I like how the Beast adds only when Maggie plays it, which is really adorable. And when they finally make it to the oasis, Beast literally, I wouldn't say really tackle Maggie, but he does like a full football looking slide just to tag her when they're both running about. And the Beast and Hamilton bumping into the back of the Beast. It was really, really funny. And then this is where we get a little bit of lore, because they had never seen this island. Even Maggie doesn't know what this little island oasis is. And she even looks on her map because it's blank, which just comes to prove to you that even even the creator of said world can even see things that they've never seen before, you know? That's why when they sprinkle just the tiniest amount of lore into the show, I really like it, because it shows that as the series goes on, the world's expanding. The world is expanding, and I like that, So I like when they sprinkle lore here and there. It's really, really fun. And that's when they see all of these weird green rocks, and then Hamilton decides to sit on it, but then it starts moving, and when it starts moving, Maggie picks one of them up, and then a turtle pops out, and then she's like, "This isn't a rock; it's a turtle." And the turtle, he's so sweet. And at one point, Maggie even says, "Mind-boggling," when all the rocks start moving, or the turtles, which is good. Kids need to learn. Kids need to learn, big words. I know there's a stereotype of, kid shows aren't supposed to say like big words like that because it's only for a young kid audience. Listen, I grew up with some kid shows that taught me big words, okay? Like, for instance, I mean, the main elephant in the room, I know it's not English, but still, it still counts as something. We have Dora. Dora teaches Spanish. And, I don't know, like, I don't know, even in some instances, the Backyardigans, even they teach big, big words. Or heck, even, Dima from Bubble Guppies, one of her many gags is saying, like, big words, well, that's inconvenient, So whoever was grown up on the trope that kids shows can't teach big words, I don't want to say you're wrong, but I mean, kids are supposed to learn big words as they're growing up. It's how we learn. But rant aside, back to the episode. The turtle, he's very, very nice. He explains to them that he's on his way to the water and he'd rather walk there, when the Beast offers him a ride, saying that he'll get there much, much faster. And then he says that, "Oh, no, no, thank you." And that's when we learn the lesson in the part of the episode where it's best to just slow down and stop and smell the roses, which I love, you know? And I really like how the lesson ties into this episode. Like, we have our characters going all fast and stuff, going all fast, and then we meet a character who's like, I know going fast can be fun for you guys, but for me, going slow is much, much more fun because you just get to stroll around and enjoy your walk or whatever you're doing, and that's something that's an amazing message. That's a good message. You know, kids, younger kids, I imagine they want in like a young age range. As somebody who is diagnosed with hyperactive disorder, this message really speaks to me because as the years go by for me, as I kept on learning this lesson, I began to get really, really, really um I began to be thinking I began thinking more about my pace and less about my hyperactiveness. I will say nowadays, I haven't fully I haven't fully 100% um mastered it. I will admit I sometimes have my moments, but when it comes to a lesson like this, I think about it time to time, and I'm like, okay, I stop and think whenever I'm going too fast, and I'm like, okay, I'm going a bit too fast here. I think it's best I just slow down, admire what I'm going, admire what I'm seeing as I'm walking to that place I want to go to, because I'm not in a rush, unless if I'm late. So I just stop and think, and I relax, and then I just keep on going. And that this lesson doesn't just have to imply for work. I mean, just imply for like going somewhere. It can apply for like, you know, if you're doing like a project and you want it to be done earlier, sometimes it's just best to like stop and think. If you stop and think about if you're working on something hard, if you just take your time on it, you'll be able to think your whole project through, which, I really love that. It is a good lesson. And as for the characters, they start talking slow like a turtle. And I really like the lesson, how they're like, we gotta think like a turtle. And I really like it. I really like it. Because I've seen some shows where, like, I don't want to say if it's a trope, but, like, there's, like, this type of thing in some shows I've seen growing up, like, whether they're trying to find an animal or lure an animal or, like, try to blend in with said animal, they'll be like, the character's like, we gotta think like a such and such. We gotta think like a such and such to do such and such with said animal, which is really, that's really good. Be one with the animals, which I really like. And they start talking in slow motion. And then as they're walking, they notice, we have Maggie noticing how the sand is made out of little bits of rock. We have them noticing a small flower, which also compliments Bees having the smallest sneeze he's ever had in Ferocious Bees history, honestly. And then they also see like a striped rock. They also have like a striped rock, and that just comes to show you that the more you slow down and take your time, the more things you'll be able to notice. Just take it easy. Take your time and slow down. Just slow down. And then when they finally meet up with the turtle at the oasis, he finally wishes them goodbye. And then Maggie decides, after their little adventure today, that she's gonna add it to the map. Which, once again, lore building. I love it. And she decided that she's gonna write a turtle on her map so that they know where to go to whenever they want to play Follow the Turtle. Which that's really, really nice. I like that. And then they decide that they want to play something else, and then that's when Maggie suggests that Hamilton should be the leader this time. And instead of Hamilton taking it, like, doing it fast like Maggie did, he decided to just, like, his first demand in the game was, first we stop and admire the oasis, and then we walk back. And the turtles at the end were just looking at them like, are they mocking us? Are they copying us? Like, what are they doing? But overall, this episode was really, really, really good. I love the message. Taking your time is the best way to go. Slow and steady can most of the time win the race. You don't always have to be speeding Gonzalo. Sorry, I had to say that. But yeah, just a great lesson. A great lesson. And I will give this episode a 10. I really, really like this episode. It was really, really, really good. I like it. I really, really loved it. So that's 2 episodes in a row in this episode that got 10s. Will the last one get a 10? Will the last one get a 10? Will we make a tic-tac-toe 3 in a row? We'll have to wait until next time. So tune in with me next time as we will be reviewing our last segment in this episode, Season 1, Episode 8C, The Big Duck. See you all next time. Great. Googly moogly.